Now and again I come across little job lots that don't seem very interesting, and this is one here. Just a collection of wagons and freight cars of mixed nationality, I think. So I'm just going to relook and see what I've got. If I can get one or two out of this, I'll be doing alright. I don't think these cost me much more than about £3. So get two of them out there, I'm quite in. Hi there, welcome to another service video from Source6233, and I'm self-isolating and social distancing, so I'm just catching up little odds and ends that have been lying around. I got this lot, I think I got these at the Dundee show last year, along with a few others which I've managed to pass on, but this lot was left, so I'm going to relook at here. A Rio Grande freight wagon with a missing fuel axle, but otherwise doesn't look in too bad a condition. Next out the box, an insulated refrigerator, no wheels at all, and is this broken here? Maybe a broken bogie at this end. Seems to be something here that should be there. And here's the Katie, a freight car, sliding doors, yes, sliding doors. Katie, the Katie serves the southwest, it says here. Missing coupler at one end, so that been broken. It's definitely an American style, looks like Union Pacific meant to be up here. There's the Union Pacific flag, and it's got, these are KD couplers. I don't think I've ever in with one of these on it. Missing at one end, so obviously need to marry that with something else. Stefan Brow, so obviously for European railways. Single axle bogies at each end. The couplers okay one side but not here. A nice step ladder, and I think this might be the roof section. So couplers seem to be the big problem here, isn't it? And what's this? Another European Kalmbacher Rachel Brow. It's funny, they all seem to be brow, so beer wagons in other words. And again, single axle bogies, couplers at one end, not at the other. Pin, so maybe a hole in the coupler connector. And the last one out of the box is bananas in Spanish, and it's made I think by Tricks. Yeah, it's a Tricks, just says up here in the corner there. And again, couplers very far in, so short arm couplers. Not sure about that. Well, this is the first one I've decided to work on. It's the banana, and the undercarriage was held on with these four lugs, which simply prized apart, allowed me to take out this. The wheels are attached to these frames which sit there, whoops, like so, and the wheel just sit in there, so the one on each end. The couplers are held in by these little pronged clips, so you'll have to undo them from the top to come out, and inside is your ubiquitous coupling spring and the coupler. So the coupler, standard coupler with flat base, quite short. So these need just a little bit of a clean up, so I'll get that. I'm sure I'll get another coupler, and I'll probably have another spring somewhere. So yeah, just give me a few minutes, I'll get that back up, and that'll be number one out of the way. down about there. As I'm trying to assemble, I suddenly realise why the coupler is missing. Because if you look at the coupler holder, you see this little tab here. Sorry, I can't focus it. Trouble automatic focus. There should be a reciprocal. Try and get it there. And of course it's missing. So there's nothing to hold the plate of the coupler in there. So I need to try and find a little bit of plastic just to glue in there, then leave it for a couple of days to set and then try again. After searching around, I found this old Graham Farish pickup plate where the springs have been removed. So this cross beam, I've taken a chunk out of it, and it seemed to be virtually perfect shape and size for this support. Situated pretty well, so I'm just going to leave that aside on the shelf for about a couple of days, let it really harden and come back to see how it looks. For me it will be Thursday, for you it will be in about 20 seconds. Now I'm going to fit the coupler. Before I fit it, I want to check that it sits nicely inside the housing. When I tried it just a wee while ago, it wouldn't sit properly, it was at an angle, and I realised that I actually had to trim just a small sliver from the inside of the housing. So I've done that, and now it sits reasonably square, like so. Maybe the slightest squint, but I think we can live with that. So now I'm going to fit the spring. Now you may remember that I was kind of surprised at how short the coupler was compared to the body, because it seems to fit underneath the bogie, or the buffers here. Well, my instinct would be to replace this with long shanked couplers, but I don't have any. So I'm just going to put in the ones that come out, and if that works, that's good. And if it doesn't work, then I shall order up some long shank couplers. So in engineering, there is a very strong policy that you only change one thing at a time, and that seemed to sit there. So I'm just going to put the cap on. That's this metal cap that sits over the spring to hold it in place. These two legs go down the inside of the housing, and there are a couple of holes on the other side so that you can bend the tabs over and hold it securely. So just try and press it in gently. And I just had a thought that the glue has probably gummed up the hole. So let me just take this off and we'll start again and cut. And the glue gumming up the little hole is exactly what has happened. Try and bring it round. There we go. Yep, there we go. So you can see here the hole for one side of the tab, but over here it's entirely gunged up. So I'm going to use my little mini hand vise with a very small drill and just try and drill this away enough to try and clear it. I've opted for a 0.5mm drill, and that seems to fit in the first hole alright, so I'll just do a little recess in there. There it is. and another one there, and one more. I wonder how that is working. Just try and see if I can push these pins through. And what I feared, the bit I replaced has broken off. Ah well, back to drawing board. Well, I've had another go at sticking a piece here and it's just not taking. So I've come to the conclusion that the best thing I can do for this van is just have it as a standalone line side feature. Maybe in a siding, just sitting there, and maybe later on I can use that to practice things like weathering or some other thing. So, can't win them all, so that's what I'll do. I'll just build it back up, take the couplers off and just put it in a siding somewhere. I'm now going to have a little look at the Katie, this wagon with the sliding doors. It needs this end fixed, so I'm just going to remove this. There is a screw head underneath this axle, so I'm just going to try and remove the wheel set. Shouldn't be too difficult. There it is. Pries out from both ends because of very low clearance. There we go. And I like to see what happens when this goes out. Comes out easily. Sorry about the noise, but I got a little trainer test. And now I have this here. Now I'm just going to check something. This is another bogie I took out from another wagon just a wee while ago. And I wonder, is this the same? No, it's not. And both of them have got the ends broken off. I've got an idea. Why don't I try and just glue this onto there? Because then that would make it look basically like that one. Yeah, sorry, make it fit the same as this one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take this here. This is at the top, that's the original on the other side, and take this, make sure I put it the right way and glue the two together. I think that might work. So here I am, a few seconds later. It's actually Thursday, and I've left this to set. Although it doesn't look very nice, but it's quite stable, so I'm going to see if this will work. My only fear was the alignment of the height of the coupling hook, but we'll soon find out once we put it on. So it quite simply sits in there, wide headed screw, and there is a collar in the frame which should allow this to rotate reasonably well, and that's it, just goes like that. And so there should be a wheel set which will sit in here. There we go. So what I need to do now is get another locomotive, another wagon and see if the couplings will couple. Well, the Katie is sitting on the track of my loop. This is the repaired end and this is the original end, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a locomotive round to see if it will pick up this and couple on to another wagon at the other end. So as it comes round, we'll just have a little look at it, and you can see the open doors. And here she comes, and then it goes there and hooks up there. And let's see if they've coupled up. Yeah, they're all moving in unison. So that doesn't look too bad at all, nice and firm there. And okay at the other end. Let's see how they go around in a loop. Can it withstand being pulled and pulling? Here it comes, almost a complete loop, and looks alright. There's the open door. Just imagine Boxcar Willie sitting here singing "I've got a feeling called the blues," and then letting his old whistle sound come out. Remember Boxcar Willie? If you've never heard of him, you should Google him. He used to make train sounds with his mouth, and the sound is so authentic. Yeah, and that's what they call a boxcar. I don't know if he was a hobo, or whether he just took on the persona of a hobo. Okay, this time round I'm going to switch tracks to see how the coupling copes with a change in direction. And that looked pretty good. Just reset the tracks to points again. And it's still holding up. Look at that, all the way around the back. Yeah, just see it come round. So I'm quite pleased that that has worked out alright. So let's just stop it there, and we'll go on to another of the wagons. And now for another of these wagons. This is one with the wheel missing, and from my spares box and things that I can't fix, I found this bogie here. And I think these wheels are the same. Wheel set number 1 slides in here. I thought it'd be much easier than this. Hang on, there we go. There we go, look at that. Okay, so that's 1, 2 I've got up running now. So I'm just going to go and put this to track, and we'll film them all together. I'm just going to round off this section by recapping on how I got on with my freight wagons. First one, the Rio Grande, I found some axles, I put them up, and now I've got a nice little runner there. This one here, I couldn't envisage getting an easy supply of the couplers, so I've decided to make this a line side like porta-cabin type thing. But one of the things I notice is that one of these little loops, which I think are used for the container cranes, is missing, so I'm just going to level it off by making the other ones missing as well, and that will just sit as a nice porta-cabin somewhere in a line side diorama, which I've got a plan for later on. So it's non-runner, but I can still use it. The Katie, I managed to replace the coupler at the end here, and it seems to have held pretty well, and it runs okay on the track. So there's a nice little runner as well. The Loco, again replacing some of the axles, and it runs pretty good. a Union Pacific with the KD coupler. I'm just going to keep that because I think I've got a locomotive with that kind of coupler on it, so at least I'll have something to pull away. These two, which apparently are maybe German, Austrian railway lines, one's a Fleischmann and one's an Atlas. I thought they were quite similar, but there are actually a few differences. They do have different types of couplers. This one requires another bracket for the coupler holder. So I'm just going to leave these two aside because I'm pretty sure that sometime in the future I'm going to come across someone who can supply these, maybe through a donor machine or so. And finally, my little banana end. Despite a valiant effort on my part, I think, I just couldn't quite get this thing here to take a replacement. So, best hope, maybe try and get a new base. Until then, just sitting on a siding, looking nice. So that's my little collection. When I got these, I was told, literally by the trader, it was a bunch of junk. Well, all I can say is one man's junk could be another man's treasure. I've got 3 good working freight wagons out of it. I've got one I can use for the KD coupler, one I can use in line side, in fact maybe 2 I could use line side, and these 2 are pending, so you never know, I might get these working again. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these, I'm going to put them on the track because I've got a little American locomotive which I'll just pull them round. I've got a couple of other wagons I can attach to it, make a nice little consist, and I'll just have a wee film showing them running round the track. And that'll probably be my end shot. So what I'm going to say just now is thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. It's just a little bit different from locomotive running, and it just shows that sometimes you get a bunch of junk. It just didn't cost me much more than a few quid, and you get some nice runners out of it. So just keep looking next time you're at a show, if we ever get another show soon. Okay, so until then, if you enjoyed that, you might want to subscribe if you haven't done so. Certainly give me a favourable comment, please, and maybe a good old thumbs up for a like, yeah? Until then, take care, self-isolate, and social distance yourself, although it's against our natures, isn't it? But hey, we've got to fight this thing together. And I just heard Boris, he's got it, and he'll fight through it, so let's take a lead from him. Okay, thanks for watching. Keep watching YouTube, and bye for now.